Tonight, we're also learning about a new cybersecurity and ransomware threat directed towards schools nationwide. Here's what we know right now. The FBI and Homeland Security have been investigating these threats for about a week or so. They say the attacks are being carried out by a ransomware group called Vice Society. The alert says that schools are particularly lucrative targets because of the amount of sensitive student data in school systems. Homeland Security is warning cyber attacks may increase as the new school year gets underway and criminal ransomware groups see opportunities in school districts with limited cybersecurity resources. NBC News investigative correspondent Tom Winter is joining us now from New York. Tom, what more do we know about Vice Society? Who's behind it?
Well, that's something that the authorities are still trying to determine the exact origin of Vice Society. They appear to be an overseas network. There's been some private security, so this is not DHS or the FBI or CISA, which is the Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency, part of DHS, but other private online sleuths, if you will, and people in the cybersecurity space, Tom, say that they might be Eastern European or perhaps another country might be behind them, namely Russia, still trying to determine that. Not suggesting that this is a state-sponsored act, but this kind of all came up in the course of the last week or so when the LA Unified School District had identified themselves as being a target of a cyber attack and ransomware. And I think that's something that people are going to be looking towards here, as you alluded to, as the school year begins.
You know, you and I have both covered a lot of cyber attacks over the years, and CISA among them is, of course, leading the charge there. What other attacks is this group allegedly responsible for, and what are they looking for? Is it money? Is it data? What are they looking for?
Well, it's a little bit of both. So one of the things that they do is not only do they lock down your system by putting this ransomware up, in other words, pay us or you'll never get access to your files again, period, because they've been encrypted, but also, according to the information that we received today from CISA and the FBI, they initially begin by infiltrating the network, Tom, and exploiting the data. So in other words, they go in, they don't just lock it down, they take all the data and make a copy of it, and then they lock it down. So that's kind of a two-pronged attack. And obviously the downside of that is, one, that they have potentially your child's information, potential information about who their parents are, their school background, but then also they can cause, and LA alluded to this, a significant disruption in their networks and their ability to function and operate because they lock down those files. And it can make things very difficult for schools to operate, which don't have enormous budgets, relatively speaking, when we're talking about IT budgets, to operate and deal with these type of threats.
We should remind the audience, CISA stands for essentially cybersecurity in the United States, Cybersecurity Command. So let's talk through some of the tips for school districts, what they can do right now to protect their information.
Right. So right now, first off, the FBI is saying, look, if you notice any sort of suspicious activity, you need to reach out to us right away. And if you can provide us with some of your logs, your IT logs, so the activity on your network, that can be very helpful, because one of the things that they have identified, Tom, are the type of off-the-shelf, as they call it, type of methods that they're using to attack. It's a Hello Kitty ransomware and all sorts of other names. People that are in the cybersecurity field will be familiar with them that are watching us, but they know the types of signatures and the types of tools that this group uses. They don't appear to use any sort of proprietary tools. So they're asking, if you notice any sort of suspicious activity, to reach out to us. But the other thing is, Tom, all the normal precautions apply. Do you have all your latest updates? Are you using VPNs and your remote systems correctly? And are you on the lookout for phishing emails? All important things, they say, can help protect from one of these attacks.
Professor Black Ops, you see it. Let's get it. You just saw the saw and heard the news article. So let's just get into it real quick. We're just gonna add a little bit onto it on the end. So, second largest U.S. school district, LAUSD, hit by ransomware. Los Angeles Unified is the second largest school district in the United States. Disclosed that ransomware hit its information technology systems over the weekend. LAUSD enrolls more than 64,000 students spanning from kindergarten through 12th grade. It includes Los Angeles and 31 smaller municipalities, as well as several Los Angeles County unincorporated sections. So let's see what they said on Twitter. Los Angeles Unified targeted by ransomware. Los Angeles Unified detected unusual activity in its information technology system over the weekend, which after initial review can be confirmed as an external cyber attack on our information technology assets. Since the identification of the incidents, which is likely criminal in nature, we continue to assess the situation with law enforcement agencies. While the investigation continues, Los Angeles Unified has swiftly implemented a response protocol to mitigate district-wide disruption, including access to email, computer systems, and applications. This communication is being published after an extensive required vetting and approved by a number of entities and agencies. Right. So the sad part about that is CISA, which a lot of people don't really know of. It's Cyber and Infrastructure Security Agency. It's the one of the cyber agencies of the United States. They actually came out with you see it right there, K-12 security guides and companion and products. So basically, CISA came out with an assessment tool to see if your network was vulnerable or could be hacked. I'm sure the school district didn't use this, right? So, and they also have a killer video I'm not going to play here, but I'm going to actually put the link in the description. So that's one thing we should think about doing as a community is reaching out to some of these school districts, especially the ones that are smaller. This one's pretty big, so they probably have resources. There's a lot of rural and especially inner city schools with big public school systems that I'm sure are lacking in security. That could be something we do to get the junior people in IT and in cybersecurity, because I'm sure a lot of these school systems would actually take volunteers and help, right? So we could do that as a larger project so people can get experience to get in IT and information technology. So once again, this is Professor Black Ops. We got to be safe in these cyber security streets. The babies aren't safe. They hacking school systems. So once again, please subscribe.